Hey y'all, Instinct Survivalist here. We'll touch base with you on what's the next best thing. You could subtitle this as Char Cloth in the Making. So we look at the ability to go in and start a fire, but what about the next fire? You should always take advantage of what you have as you're moving along or as you're going along, whether it is stripping bark off of a cedar, whether it is using birch bark, or whether it is using a piece of cloth that you have. And what I carry with me is two things. Number one is a nice old-fashioned shoe polish tin. You can use an Altoids tin. You can use just a regular tin. I found some at a 5 and dime that are nice and big. The other thing that I take with me in these is cotton pads. Now you can find these in the makeup section. I found I think 100 of them for $1. And use those. However, you can utilize a shirt. You can utilize some other cotton cloth. Either way, that's what you're going to do to make char cloth. Now, keep in mind, with mine, this is the one I use regularly. You see them in there. And I've also got a hole in the top, and the reason for that is because this fits really snug. With an Altoids tin, not necessarily the case. You don't have to do that because there's enough air flowing through it and getting out. But what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take and stick this in the fire, and then we'll check and I'll show you how the rest of it's made, all right? Stay tuned for that. Now, one thing you'll notice about my fires is dying out. That's okay. I was busy talking, and so what we'll do is we'll add a few more sticks to that and get it built back up just a little bit. Let's start with some smalls. I probably should have thrown that on there first. The good thing about winter time is even here in Georgia, I'm able to get some nice small sticks to go in and build up my fire. Now you'll notice I'm also putting them in one area versus the other. Either way is fine. It's just me trying to make a fire for showing this anyway. I'll just bring all that in, not a problem. One other thing that makes good fire tinder, if you will, or kindling, this is dried poke sally. I forget what the technical name of it is, but it's little berries you can't eat. You should throw them at people and make it, stain their clothes and stuff like that. Now the caveat to that is I don't know. I don't think it is. I've had plenty of fires using it growing up and things like that, and I'm not sick. So, but just be careful because you do see that it smokes a lot, and some of that just has to do with the wet wood that we have. So, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go and put my tin in, and in this I don't have to put it like in the fire. Okay, keep that in mind. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna put it here on the side. And what I'm looking for in that, and I have a stick to pull it out when it's ready because that sucker is going to be really hot. But what I'm looking for is in this hole right here, I'm looking for smoke to come out of it. And that indicates that it's charred, it's ready to go. So we'll wait a few minutes for that. With these tins, it doesn't take that long. I've had them be as little as 2 minutes. I've had it be as long as 10 minutes, depending upon where I put it in the fire. So keep in mind, that's where we're looking at it. If it does catch on fire, that's okay. I usually just put it out and we go step 2, if you know what I'm saying. Okay, so let's wait and see what we got. I apologize, the neighbors are out working in their yard, and hey, the dogs are out too. So what you'll see is a little bit of smoke coming from around the bottom. That's actually coming from the bottom, literally the bottom. And the reason being is because there's a little fire up under it, okay? Now you see the smoke coming out of the top. That's actually a good thing. What we want to do is just make sure, and I'm going to move this out a little bit. I want to make sure that doesn't catch on fire because to me, what that does is just burns it. It doesn't exactly cause it to be exactly what I'm looking for. And that sucker's burning up, or smoking up nicely. Now, how do I know when it's done? That's always the second question. Great, I can do it, but now how do I know when it's done? I usually stop when it stops smoking. The other side of that is yeah, from right here, I could probably go ahead and pull it out because I know the edges of those cotton pads are charred. But I want to make sure that, because I'm worried about my next fire, I want to make sure I've got no issues with knowing that it's going to catch a flame. if you had looked real closely, you could have seen the white of the pad right there through the hole. You can't now, number one, because of the smoke, but number two, because it's already charring up. So I know for a fact, just based off of me doing this several times, I know what this looks like. I know it's almost ready, and you'll see the smoke is actually dying down a little bit. Not quite smoking the way it was a moment ago. For me, I think it's ready. So we'll go ahead and pull that, okay? Now again, because you're using a tin, a metal tin, do not grab that with your fingers. You will burn them. How do I know? I've done it plenty of times. That's how I know. So we'll go ahead and we'll throw those pieces on. I'm gonna let this cool for just a few minutes and then we'll come back and check out what it looks like, okay? Okay, so I think this is cool enough to touch. Yeah, we're fine with that. All right, let's double check it, right? Got to first check. All right, so you can see that all of my pieces are charred. That one actually burnt to the top, and that's okay. Again, if it's burnt a little bit, that's not a problem. What you're trying to do is see how the coloration here has gone from solid white to this to black. That's not a problem. These are going to char up better, or in this case, light better. And what you're looking to do, or what the ultimate goal of this is, to light it with your ferro rod. Now, that's one of the ways that you can test this, is you can either use flint and steel or ferro rod. Now, this pad right here will take a spark, no problem whatsoever. But you got to remember, everything is about processing, okay? Now, do I have to process this? No. However, what I do is I usually take, and you see I'm just barely even doing, just trying to expose just a few more fibers that are in there. And then what I'll do is to double check it, and this is how you can verify this is a solid piece of char cloth, if you will, is to take, there we go. And you see it smoking, starting to burn up there. And you should be able to see the smoke happening, little sparks happening as well. That right there tells me that it's taking it. You know, for those that need more proof or need more information or need more satisfaction of knowing, there you go. You see the embers are burning. You see it burning up real good now. All right. So that's it. That's the test. That's how you make char cloth. That's been a big question in carrying. What do I carry in my fire kit? Char cloth being one of the things. Jute twine is another one, and I've got another video for that. But right now, that being the biggest one overall. Okay. So that's it. Just want to kind of give you a heads up of how to do, what to do, and you know, being bushcrafters, woodcrafters, survivalists, however you want to look at it, you're always trying to improve your skills. You're always trying to find other ways to do things, right? 2 is 1, 1 is none. That being the big thing. This is just one more way to do it. And if you look at one more thing, just as a by the way, many of you carry cotton bandanas. That can be used. Shirts, if you're in a pinch, tear off a piece of your shirt. That's not a problem. You can get you a little square, maybe a 2x2, maybe a 3x3 square, and do it too. That then becomes beneficial because you're able to have that on you and able to use that overall. Okay? So again, thanks for your likes, subscribes. Hey, like this video. All right, if you liked it, like it. Let everybody else know that it's there. Let everybody know that you liked it. Helps me in the long run, so I do appreciate that. I appreciate your likes, your tweets, your retweets, your follows, your Facebook subscribes, and things of that nature, and especially on YouTube. Until next time, use your instincts to survive. Thanks for watching.